Entitled sister-in-law wants custody of my baby. Welcome to Latinas Unmasked! From the subreddit, r/entitledPeople.
What?
Entitled people.
Ah, okay.
You know what that means?
Yeah,
Good.
I
Okay.
think so. I think so.
checking.
Otherwise, I will Google it while you're telling the story.
Okay, so the title is Entitled Sister-in-law Wants Custody of My Baby.
Whoa.
We're starting strong.
Yeah. Why? Why would you want the custody of a baby? Seriously.
Yeah, I'm
it's
curious
too much money, too much responsibility. Anyway.
Okay, well, let's see what's going on here. Background. Me, 36 female, sister-in-law, 40 female, have been married to her brother for over 10 years, and there's always been some jealousy and resentment from her. She's always felt like I had the life she wanted. Not necessarily with her brother,
To be clarified.
to be very clear, I hope, but the marriage, family, job, stability, etc. I have 3 kids, 10 female, 8 male, and 3 months female. She got married last year and they decided to start trying for a baby, but she was unfortunately told that she can't have children naturally. She was understandably devastated, and the family comforted her as best as we could. We recently had a family dinner, and in the middle of it, she says, "Opie, I think it's really unfair that you got to have 3 kids, and I can't have any. Your baby is my last chance to raise a child, so I think you should give her to me during the week, so I can create a motherly bond with her, and you can have her on weekends."
I mean...
What?
I mean, if she would have worded it differently, it would have still sounded good for the mother, you know? Like, if she had told her, like, hey, if you need someone to support you or give you a hand, I could take care of her, like, a couple of days during the week or on the weekends.
Okay, yeah.
You know, like a nanny. And then,
Yeah.
that would have sounded like good, like such a good family member trying to help out. But the fact that she said, your daughter is my only chance to experience motherhood, that sounds kind of fucked up.
And I am pretty sure that she meant it exactly that way.
Jeez.
I think she's not talking about
Helping
out.
or
She's talking
bonding
about
as a-
having her daughter. Oh my goodness.
Oh my God.
And you can have her on weekends. Like,
Yeah.
what? Like, I'm so generous. I mean, I'm not taking her away fully. Just 5 days of the week.
And then when I can have my fun on the weekends and get drunk or
Yeah,
whatever.
I mean, I still need break,
Yeah,
okay?
exactly.
What the f***?
Honestly, if someone would be serious telling me that, I would get so afraid. Like, I would be so afraid of ever having to deal with this person.
I
ever
think-
again.
I think my first reaction would be to laugh and be like, are you serious?
Yeah.
Like, what? Okay, let's continue. Before I could respond, the entire table erupted with everyone talking at once. So I took my older kids upstairs. When I got back to the dining room, her husband was asking what the hell is wrong with her and why she would even think to ask that. She was trying to justify herself when I asked them to leave. I also said that she's no longer welcomed at my house or around my children until she gets help. She started screaming that I don't deserve my life or my children and that I stole her baby from her.
Oh my God. That's in so many ways.
Hell.
That's in so many ways so wrong. Okay.
That's so crazy. Her husband and mother-in-law kept apologizing and dragged her out of the house, still crying and screaming. Now my kids want to know why their aunt wants to take the baby. Poor kids.
Oh, such a trauma.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I couldn't even imagine. I think I would. How can you be so delusional? I mean,
Yeah.
yes, it's tough. She can't have children naturally, and that's really heartbreaking.
But that she made that connection, you know, like it's her niece, and that she just makes the brain connection of she could have been my daughter. It's like so crazy.
She should have been, because you have enough children. What the heck? Even if she had 10 children, what the hell?
Like, to come to that conclusion,
What?
to blame her for having a child, it's just like
That is crazy. Oh my goodness.
But she had like a mental breakdown, I think. Maybe.
Oh, she has to. Yeah. I mean, I would understand kind of if the situation would have been that that OP, let's say, she would be a surrogate and decides in the end to kind of keep the baby. That would be hard, and then I kind of would understand this anger and resentment of feeling like this should have been my baby. But in this situation, it's completely unjustified. We have some edits. I've been reading the comments, but it's too many to reply, so here are a few points. Number 1, we have a security system and camera already installed, and no one has key to our house. Yes.
Oh my God.
That would be my worry. Imagine someone like that. I feel like they would be so unhinged to just break in and steal the baby. I mean, people have done way worse thing, I feel like. Oh my goodness.
I would move out.
Yeah, we move away.
The way you're telling it, like, she just became crazy because of the fact that she couldn't get any babies.
And overall, at the dining table, can you imagine just eating, having fun, and out of nowhere, hey, I want your baby, give it to me. Like,
and being serious about it.
Like, what? What? Okay, number 2. I will not be able to get a restraining order as this one incident isn't enough to justify it. Yeah, okay. Number 3, my husband and I spoke to the older kids about it the same night, and we'll be having another talk with them to reinforce that sister-in-law is not a safe person anymore. Good for them. Do that. Number 4, our country doesn't have the right to bear arms, and I also have no interest in getting a gun.
Okay, well, that's again another extreme.
Fight extreme with extreme. And number 5, I will be informing the school and daycare of the issue and giving them her photo. Oh my God, I think people are really thinking of that she might abduct the baby, and better be safe than sorry, I guess.
But also, I'm asking myself right now, what kind of person you must be for everyone around you who knows you well to be like, oh, she could be capable of kidnapping a child. Oh, like, what kind of... Because, again, I do agree that you can't, denounce it to the police just because of a comment. It was literally a comment. But what kind of person you must be in order for your family to believe that you could actually kidnap a child, like...
Yeah.
But
I think the way she's writing it, I think it probably wasn't the first. I mean, she did write that she felt jealous and resentment and that she wanted her life. And just based by that, it had to be a different situation where she already portrayed, this extreme form of jealousy and resentment.
Right.
I mean, 10 years is a long time where you know someone and they've been, probably constantly making dips at you about wanting your life. So, oh my goodness. Oh, can you imagine being...
No, and honestly, when I watch movies where there are crazy women and the husbands always have to kind of have the same or experience the same kind of embarrassment, I would be like, I could never be the husband of those women,
Yeah.
Like I feel so sorry for those men who still kind of like, because a lot of them never divorced them or anything, and I'm just like, I could never as a husband be
I think probably her husband has a lot of empathy for the situation, that she's really dealing with grief and but I do think she has severe mental issues here. Like, that sounds not healthy. I'm going to read the comments. There was actually an update to this story. You can go find Reddit. I actually didn't want to include it because it's really long update. She wrote a lot. And I think it would be just too much to cover right now.
Okay, yeah.
But I quickly looked into it. It's just essentially the fact that she was, I think... put into a health care system where she's treated now for her mental health issues, which is probably for the best.
Yeah.
Let's quickly go to the comments. The top comment was, Jesus, stay safe. At least the rest of the family recognizes her craziness. Which someone replied to, I had the same thought. Usually in Reddit stories like this, the family backs the crazy one because they are the golden child. And yes, I know you're a Reddit version, but we have so many Reddit stories, it's actually crazy, where families, when someone acts like that, support that person and tell the other one that you're crazy, just give it to her, why are you so egocentric? You would be amazed at how many families actually act like that.
Oh my God.
Which is horrifying.
So many dysfunctional families.
Yes.
Oh my God.
We're going to have to make an episode about dysfunctional families.
Definitely.
And then someone else just goes into what you should tell their children. Like, they write, tell them Auntie is sad. Auntie wants a baby, but don't worry, she isn't going to take ours. Auntie needs to see a doctor who can help her feel better. I'm sorry to say I've been through this situation twice. What? Once during my marriage of 40 years, as well as in my brief starter marriage. During the former, a sister-in-law joked endlessly about taking one of my sons, which became deeply unfunny in very little time. When at last she bore her own son, she left my 3 alone. During the latter marriage, I had wisely chosen not to procreate, which became the problem. In the eyes of my infertile sister-in-law, my womb was just sitting there. What a you. Why wouldn't I be inseminated by my brother-in-law via a turkey pastor? What the hell? My own selfishness, my sister-in-law concluded, prevented them from gaslighting, giving birth to, and surrendering the newborn to a deeply entitled couple whose religious, political, and social affiliations in no way reflected my own. I got out of the family soon after several holiday meals had degenerated into shouting and sobbing, sometimes both at once. So as I understood, her sister-in-law from the second marriage wanted her to have her baby for her. It's just boundaries, people, boundaries.
I think, have you ever watched this film? I think there's a movie in Netflix where they have the same predicament or the same story where there's a couple who desperately wants to have a biological child. Like they want to get pregnant, and the woman just can't have any children, like she can't bear any of them. And so they convince the woman's niece to do the whole fertility procedure so that she can get pregnant of their child. And it's just so fucking crazy to even imagine that. But apparently it happens. Apparently it's normal. Or maybe not normal, but it has happened.
I hope not normal,
but it has happened. Yeah.
Do you know the name of it?
No, I need to Google it. I'm terrible at names, but I will
wow,
send you the link.
that sounds intriguing though. Also, like horrifying, but what?
Yeah.
Crazy. Yeah. Would you? I mean, I don't know if you ever want to be pregnant, but would you even consider carrying out the baby for someone else?
That's a very good question. I mean, technically yes, but. Yeah, I've been thinking a lot about those kind of situations, you know.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, because I once heard that, you know, it kind of objectifies the woman, you know, when you make her be pregnant of your child, you are just utilizing her for her body, but if she agrees, then there's kind of a consent. So even though the woman has been objectified for the purposes of others, if she consents, then everything is all right. And I'm not quite sure about that, you know. So, you know, technically yes, but morally and ethically, like, I'm not sure if I would. I think
I'm more curious about, do you think you would even be able, you know, to go through the whole process of those 9 months, being pregnant, having those risks and everything, and birthing this child, and then just give it away?
Yeah.
Do you feel like you would be able to do that?
Yeah, well, I've heard of a lot of women that they do not feel this kind of mother-child connection as intense as everyone assumes mothers do. So I think, yeah. But I will also ask myself like the question of like how much would they pay me to do that?
I think pretty well.
Yeah, okay. I don't know. Maybe if I'm in a desperate situation, you will see me with an 8-month so old tummy.
I mean, it's a different situation if it happens out of accident. I mean, but if someone truly came to you and would be like, we can't get pregnant, would you do? I mean, it's illegal in our country, but just
let's assume it would
let's
be possible.
just assume, yeah.
I don't know. Well, I also have this argument or this thought of thinking, like, well, there are so many children that could be adopted or so many things that you could do before having a child that was created with your egg and your semen. Like, why do you have to do all these when there are so many children in need of desperate love? Like that's also kind of the arguments I have where I think, no, I would rather support you to find a child or to love a child that already exists and already needs love than creating another one in a very expensive and complicated way.
Don't forget that it's super dangerous for your pregnancy. I think I couldn't do it. I think, first of all, because of the risks. I mean, every pregnancy bears a risk for your own health. And I think it's one thing to do it for my own child, but doing it for someone else, even out of a good reason, there's so many adoption out there possible. If it wouldn't be possible for someone to adopt, then I would consider it maybe. But I also think I couldn't go through 9 months and not love this child. I think I would love it from the first instance, even though it wouldn't be technically mine. So I don't think I would be capable to do that.
It's so complicated, man.
Yeah.
Like for me, adoption was always the solution. But recently, you see all these documentaries about adopted children or adults who were adopted as children and how they still have to deal with the trauma of having been abandoned or not knowing who their biological parents are or finding even out that their biological parents didn't even want to give them to adoption and they were forced by the government to do so. It's so complicated that you realize that adoption is not like the best solution for the in the interest of the child. Like it's,
I think it can be though. There's a lot of situations where people were also super happy and they love their parents. I think it really also depends on how the family treated it.
But it's so complicated.
But I follow a lot of parent influencers that adopted, and it's just also it's not as easy to process to adopt as you might think. It's actually super hard, and there are scammers out there. I didn't even think about that. Oh my god, where one of the ones that I followed, they thought they could adopt twins, and it turned out to be a scam, and that was heartbreaking to watch. When they found out. I mean, can you imagine? They even made a baby shower and everything because obviously you kind of want to have all this experience even though you are going to adopt, and in the end it turned out happy. They were able in the end now to adopt little baby girls, so it's one of the most beautiful stories. It worked out, but it's tough. I think it took them 2 years.
I know people I know like 1 or 2 couples who tried to adopt and just weren't capable, so they just went to the USA and got a woman to be pregnant for them. And now they have 3 children. Oh wow, they exaggerated a little bit, but that's how it is.
But I mean, no, it's not that easy. If you think about it, in the end, if you want to have a child, it could take you up to 4 or 5 years until you actually have one. If you try for a year and it doesn't work, and then go through IVF a year, and then again maybe a year adopting. I mean, it could take 5 years. Yeah. And that's just crazy to me. I was definitely, me as being a naive teenager child, always thought if I just miss one time the pill, I just get pregnant in that second, and and it can happen. I know it can happen, but I know my mom.
you were the case. You were the unwanted surprise, or you?
No, I was. I think the only wanted surprise. No, but
That's
I
what
mean,
they tell
my
me.
mom got pregnant at 17
Right.
with a one night stand and with my brother. Then she met my
yeah.
father. Then I was pretty much planned,
Mm-hmm.
I would say. And I have two younger siblings now, which are 18 and 15 years younger. With, my mom again, two different men, pretty much one night stand again, I guess.
Right.
So, someone super fertile here.
You can say it's
Yeah.
Yeah, no, but that's the amazing thing, how we as women have the power of creating another human being.
It's
and
crazy,
how
honestly.
nowadays
Yeah.
people try to manipulate the mother nature somehow, and I think that's so crazy.
I think I'm really fascinated by pregnancies, honestly, and
Yeah.
birthing and everything, because I do think it's crazy that we can do that. I mean, creating a life inside of you, all the biology that comes with it.
Yeah.
I just think, and even, the possibility to just go from this body to then producing supplies, producing the food for another human being with your body. It's just stunning. It's mind-blowing to me, honestly.
Yeah.
It's just crazy that
Definitely.
we can do that.
Yeah, so coming back to the question, would I do it? Technically, yes, it depends. But in general, I do not support that strategy of getting a child. Like, I can't stand behind that, I can't stand behind that type of method to get a child. So,
and I think
and I also think that if you do it, then let's not get any woman who is related to you genetically to be involved.
Yeah.
Like,
Please.
That's
Do it with someone that you at least probably never see again.
Yeah, something
As a favor to you and them.
Exactly.
But I do get why it's illegal in our country, or I think in whole Europe probably. I'm not very sure, but
yeah, me neither.
I do understand. I think it's also really
It complicates things.
Yeah, it's super complicated.